Okay. All right, you ready?
Welcome back. I'm Hollywood Hurd,
I'm Jim Young.
and this is the Smoked Debrief. Today, we're going to smoke a CAO America. Because America, that's why, And Jim, tell us about our guest today.
We have Ryan Moffitt, who is running for NC State House.
Correct.
And that's right now at Stephen Ross's
Correct.
position.
That's right.
And Stephen is he's going to retire. So you want that seat. He actually swore me in when I was sworn in at the council in Graham. And I asked Stephen to swear me in. But we're gonna. I do have some just goofy questions to ask.
Love it.
But if you would just go ahead and just tell us about yourself, why you're running, and what you want to accomplish.
But first, we're going to start burning these cigars.
Yes,
I'm going to
let's
read
go
the
ahead.
breakdown of the CAO America.
Let's get that out of the way.
It's a 92 rated medium to full bodied premium cigar featuring a distinct barber pole design with alternating Connecticut broadleaf and Connecticut shade wrapper. Jim, it has a lot in common with you because it uses a Brazilian binder, and I know you go and have a Brazilian at the wax place like every month, right?
I do.
Filler tobaccos from 4 countries: Nicaragua, Italy,
Hey.
the Dominican Republic, and the USA, offering notes of cream, oak, roasted meat, and white pepper. I want to meet these guys that can taste that roasted meat, cream, oak, and white pepper palette.
That would be the Italian.
I guess
part
so.
of it.
Striking pinstripe barber pole, offered packaged in red, white, and blue because it's, America. Creamy, nutty, and savory with hints of leather, cedar, and chocolate. Medium to full body. Monument 6.25 by 54. And the Potomac, or Potomac, if you're more sophisticated, 5 by 56. Generally around $9 to $11 per cigar. Comes in boxes of 20. It's unique because it's a melting pot tribute to the USA with the wrapper leaves grown in Connecticut. Intricate construction requires skilled rollers because of the barber pole design, often resulting in lower production, making them a popular limited style find for holidays like the 4th of July.
It's pretty smooth.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Tell us about yourself.
No, guys, sounds like I'm missing out on a delightful smoke
We have plenty. Would
today.
you like one?
I know. Well, I told Jim
We'll
I
let you take
shared
one with
that
you.
it sounds like a charcuterie board and a cigar.
The adult lunchable.
That's an excellent description.
Speaking of wine and sipping glasses, you've got the cigar for it. No, I have not earned my cigar today yet, so but I hope to enjoy one with y'all.
So did you do politics or student council or government or anything in high school or college?
Never run for elected office in my life.
Okay, so
not
what
even
possessed you to do it?
Oh man, how long's this elevator ride?
We got plenty of time.
We on the Tower of Terror, Burj Khalifa, or really, what's possessed me to do it is looking back on the life I've lived so far. All of it's been spent here in Alamance County. I've grown up. I was born here. I've lived in Burlington my whole life. I was educated in ABSS schools, like Smith Elementary, Turrentine Middle School, Williams High School. I, grew up going to church at First Presbyterian. I'm still a member there. Got my Eagle Scout in Troop 17 at First Presbyterian. Have 2 parents who both worked very hard up until 5 years ago when they both retired. Now, mother was a pediatrician at Burlington Pediatrics. My dad was in business with a veterinary pharmaceutical company based out of Maine, and very hardworking folks, very service-oriented folks, and 2 brothers that kept me honest. And I turned 38 years old last month. No, it's May now. Turned 38 in March, which, interestingly enough, is about the median age of Alamance County. So what that means to me is that it's time to take some responsibility for where you live, and maybe offer some relief to a lot of people who've been doing the hard work for a long time. I mean, Steve Ross is a perfect example of that. Like, when he and I had a conversation about this, I had no idea that he didn't have intentions of running again, and I thought, wow,
that's really cool too.
That's disappointing. I mean, my first response was, oh no, why? Please, he and Dennis Riddell and Amy have been just an unbelievable team for Alamance County, and have been district facing and public facing and visible and engaged, and it's helped me as someone who's chosen to stay in this community and make a living and who cares, to engage with them over the years, not because I wanted their job, but because I care about where I live and where our family is, and what kind of opportunities there are here. I'm a lawyer by trade. I do a lot of work in commercial real estate development. Land use entitlements is sort of the core of my practice, and so I've had the good fortune to spend time in the local governments, most of it in Burlington, some of it in Graham, Mebane on the Cursory. My partner and mentor Lawson Brown is Mebane's city attorney, so I've been conflicted from actually doing work, but I've been able to make wonderful relationships there. At the county in Elon and Gibsonville, really, I've been so lucky to have been exposed to that, and to see how things work, and how people who live here, if they want to, can have a hand in what's going on.
Yeah. What's nice is, like, if you look, we have a lot of, for lack of a better term, carpetbaggers. They come in and they figure they know more than anybody else, and they can run the town better than anybody else. And they weren't born here. They haven't lived here except for maybe whatever the minimum allotted time for them to run for whatever office it is. So it's nice that we have somebody that's born and bred Alamance County, true Alamance Countyan, and you want to get into public service, because we have there's some organizations that are pushing people who've never lived here, and they're pushing them to get into office, and they're trying to New York our North Carolina, and I think Alamance County is one of the last holdouts, and hopefully it stays that way.
Well, I'll just say one thing about having a desire to serve and sort of a responsibility. My generation didn't grow up. The military was not a conversation for my generation.
Yeah.
I mean, you two as military guys, I mean, there's no bigger thing to do to, express your sense of service than to step out there in that way. For my parents, even not really my parents, but that World War II generation and the Vietnam generation, it was like, you didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
You just did it. And I only know that from getting it secondhand, from being educated on that.
Well, they just raised the age, so you got 2 years.
Well, hey, if this doesn't work out, maybe. You never know.
Go in, you would immediately be an officer right out of basic.
That's right.
Look, whatever. I just, I do want to help. At the end of the day, that's how I was raised. You need to have a purpose. You need to help your neighbor. You need to be of service. You need to make a living. Put your mask on before helping the person next to you. I mean, what good are you if you're not taking care of yourself to your neighbor? But once you're good, or you're making your living, but come on, that and really I'm excited about state government. I think state government is a place where we have the opportunity to turn the focus on our communities and let our communities sort of provide for themselves, and our communities know their problems the best, and they're going to solve their problems and create and take advantage of their opportunities in the best way. And the state government is a good place, I think, to sort of set that table for communities, and not really just like we don't. I mean, I've got an R next to my name. I'm not defined by the R next to my name. That's just, I have conservative principles and values, and they've always been that way. And I know, and sometimes I get frustrated with certain conservatives or certain things that get done, and I certainly get frustrated with politics.
Yeah.
But I'm not a I don't rely on, I don't have social media until I had to get a campaign page, and I don't rely on network news. I don't blow with the wind. I've never considered.
Don't let politics interfere with your public service.
No, I mean,
not at all.
I've never, as frustrated as I've gotten with politics, whether that's on the right or the left or wherever it is, I've never considered changing my affiliation, because those are where I'm rooted. But
it's a new perception now. It didn't used to be that way, that you have to believe everything your party believes. That you can't do that. Well, I mean, not and be an intelligent and productive whatever position you have. You cannot say, okay, I have an R next to my name, so I have to do and support everything that the R's say, because it doesn't make sense to do that.
Well, and I'm not even saying that it's like, here's the party line, and if you don't, it's really different people interpret different issues different ways on the right side of the line, just like they interpret the same set of issues different ways on the left side of the line. And I'm just not somebody that, I feel like that's been one of the challenges we've faced, and it's these echo chambers that technology and social media have created have been very detrimental to the conversation. And I try not to be naive about this, because I don't know much about what I'm getting into.
Sometimes that's a good thing.
Well, Jim discovered that himself.
Yeah,
Jim discovered that when he ran for city council, and then he agrees with some people and agrees with other people, and everyone expects him to agree with the same people all the time.
Yeah,
and you can't do that and be legitimate.
I just look at everything.
What's best?
If you look at what's best for the people, and I had to get out of it when I first our first meeting. I'm friends with all these people that I'm on the council with.
Yeah.
And I was in this thing. Okay, we're a team. We're gonna do this, and we are still a team. But I'm not there to make these people happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there to make the people of the town happy.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get that out of my head.
And
so it took one meeting to do that.
And to use your judgment.
Yes. And
your
you got
judgment.
The people, what's crazy is what I found out is, like, you have people that come and speak up about certain subjects or whatever. But you still have to understand that just in Graham, there's 20,000 people, almost 20,000 people in Graham. Okay, you might have 20 people come and speak out. And there's some people that think, well, those 20 spoke out, so that's the majority. You got to do what those people want to do. No, that's not a majority. That's a few people. And while I respect their opinion, there's still
19,800 980
that
people
aren't there who voted and have put their trust in that representative to do what's best.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take that into consideration. Unfortunately, the loudest ones aren't always the right ones, and they'll just like shouting, it's not very productive, but that's one of the headaches. I'm sure you probably already ran into that.
Well, I'm trying to learn a lot as quickly as I can.
What's your biggest challenge so far in running?
The biggest challenge. Well, I mean, I have a day job that depends on me being there and earning a living. I mean, I'm a lawyer, we bill by the hour, and when you're not billing, you're not earning. So I've got a family. My wife, she works a full-time job and she's a small business owner and she's working at home and she deals with our boys. And so but I want to be a good dad and a good husband. And so in the sense of all that, I don't need this. And so figuring out that balance and that routine has been the hardest thing. Because those are really the most important things, but this is really important too. So that's the biggest challenge. But you know, I have a part of me has, since I was young, had something about biting off maybe more than you can chew, but I've always managed to chew it down.
Yeah.
And so it helps me find discipline when I've got more than enough to do.
Right.
So I'm holding a lot of faith in that because I've challenged myself before. I've done things I didn't know how I was going to do at the outset. So I'm very uncomfortable, but I'm in a similar sense. I think I'm going to figure it out.
So what's your
I know I
progress?
will.
What are your steps? What are your steps now to obtain, to be elected? What are your steps that you see?
So because of the circumstances I just described. I mean, I made this decision right before the filing window opened. I guess December 1 or 2, so like the week after Thanksgiving. And I didn't this was not in my this was not an aspiration. There was not a plan for this to happen. I wouldn't be telling you all the truth if I didn't say I probably had a city councilor or a county commissioner, run in me sooner than later, but it was nothing this year or next. I mean, there were the time, if I had it my way and could plan it out, it would have been, when I could put the pieces all in their places and do it in the way that I mapped it. But this one came in a way that I had to put a lot of faith in myself, and Ashley, my wife, is putting a lot of faith in me that I can do it. And so it's taken some months to get comfortable with, okay, you're doing this, you figure out how you're going to do it. So I would say March is when it really started locking in and talking to people and getting out there. And I would hope by the end of this month I'm off and running with a team and a plan.
How old are your kids?
I've got 2 boys, 7 and 5. So
That's it'll be a learning experience for them too. I think it's great if your wife's supporting you. You got that support system at home and your parents, and there's nothing at all wrong with biting off more than you can chew.
Yeah.
Because if you're like me, when you get comfortable, you get bored, mm-hmm. and then you get dangerous. Mm-hmm. And there's just something about it. It's like, well, I don't know how to do that, but I'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. And it's a nice little. It's not about the destination; it's the journey, and you learn a whole lot, and you learn about people, and it's It's crazy, but I think hats off to you because yeah. I know there's going to be some times when you're like sitting at home and you're like, why did I do this? But I think you'll find that it's very rewarding.
Well, there's nothing better than serving.
Yeah,
There's nothing better than serving. And that's Jim and I haven't both been in the military, and once we got out, we still had that need and that desire to serve. You still want to help. You still want to make your life and other people's lives better. And the American Legion is one of the people that we do a lot of commercials for and a lot of stuff for, because, and most people don't realize that the American Legion is a service organization, serving veterans, serving the community, serving young people with scholarships, and it's the same thing being a representative. That's the greatest thing you can do is serve your fellow man.
Mm-hmm. No, I've had a little bit of fire in me about it. When Jim, I'm right there with you on your point about the journey. Like that destination is never guaranteed.
yeah,
And knowing that at the outset and just appreciating that you're going to go for it is what I try to stay focused on. But yeah, part of what has me doing this is, and sort of getting back to your original question about the contrast between having a history in a place and wanting to serve the place that you've got history in versus just wanting to, just coming in and saying, well, I would like to do this for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be good reasons, I don't know, honest reasons or other dishonest reasons, but I have the combination of 38 years of people here that have been in my life that whole time, that have propped me up. Anything I've done, which I'm not sure what that is, but I've tried to do good. I am certainly have had lapses in judgment, and those lapses in judgment
that just makes you human.
I know, but those are 100% Ryan Moffitt's lapses in judgment.
Yeah.
That's my human nature. But anything that I've done to do right or help someone else is me as a vessel of the lessons that other people have given me or the support that other people have given me.
Yeah.
And I, honest to God, believe that that's not yours. You just carry that. And so you better do something with it. And watching people like you, local elected officials, especially in the years that I've been able to be here as a professional and have the good fortune, I think Lawson Brown deserves all the credit for putting me in the position that I'm in to do this, because he put me in this municipal work.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me the opportunity to, understand zoning, which is to 99% of people like, that's boring. Like, what does that matter? But what's everybody talking about now in Graham at the county commissioner meetings?
Yeah.
That is important stuff. It shapes your community.
Yeah.
And you get to participate in it if you want to. And that's what I've learned. And that's just one aspect of local government. But the people who work in it, staff and electeds, and to do it on a volunteer basis, and to do it right in the work it requires, and the study and the crap you got to take, and you can't just get up there and not have read your agenda packet. That's negligent.
What? Wait, what?
You
can't.
No, but watching people do it and having had the opportunity to have relationships with the people that are in the work, and to see, oh my
I think
How do they do that? Like, and they've got jobs and families, but they're still doing this. They're up at night, early in the morning on Sundays, and reading, about water and sewer capacity, which that'll be the last time I mention that. But it's like, man, if they're doing it, we all should do it.
I think the biggest thing that Jim can say is that you have to do your research. You can't take things just at what people say, because you don't always get all the facts. And I think that's a lesson that, would you say that's a lesson that you've learned?
Yeah, definitely. Even though I'm sure the people that are telling you stuff, they're well intentioned, but you're still hearing it from their point of view and their belief. And you'll find that there's like 100 different ways of doing something, and it's I mean, you learn something anytime you go, that I go and I haven't learned something. I don't think it was worthwhile if I haven't learned anything. And I don't mind making mistakes. That's just one more learning.
But that's how you get better. Yeah.
And the people, when I left, when I was leaving from 8th grade and going to high school, and I was born here, but I grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee. My dad drove trucks for Associated Transport, which is history here.
Yeah.
And then he rose up in the ranks, and we went to we moved to Florida, and left Florida and went to Knoxville. So we were, wherever Dad went, we went.
Yeah.
And when I was in Knoxville and I was leaving the 8th grade, we had, I hit my growing spurt. So we had the high school football coaches come down, and they wanted me to play, and I did. And my mom bought me this. This is way back when, in the 80s, and there was this guy who, I guess he had a mailing list for all the new football players, and he was selling these motivational programs. And it was all cassette tapes, Big, you open it up and it's a box of cassettes. And there were these flashcards. And I think I still have this one flashcard that I had up on my little bulletin board in my room. And it said, the most important qualification is an intense burning desire. And I've never forgot that. I don't know where the rest of that shit is, but that one little card, I think it's probably on a bulletin board back here in the shop. But I've never forgotten that. And then as I got older, you're going to have people whispering and yelling and they don't agree with you and all this stuff. And as far as that is concerned, my favorite thought on that is Winston Churchill said, if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks, you'll never get to where you're going. And you just let it roll off. And
oh my God.
I don't, when I decided to run for mayor in 2017, and that was a whim. I was right there at the Board of Elections, and my wife and I were walking around Graham, and I said, I think I want to run for city council. So I went in there and I started filling out the sheet, and I saw that Mayor Peterman had his sheet already filled out and come in, and I looked and I said, and he had been running unopposed. So I was like, how much does it cost to run for mayor? And they said, it's $10, same as the other. I said, I want to do mayor. So, and that I'm glad that I didn't get elected, because I would have had no clue. But I did learn, because you have all these people coming out of the woodwork wanting to give you dirt on your opponent and all this stuff. And it's like, that's not what that's not what I want to do. And it was learning, and that of course I'm rambling now.
No, you're not.
But keep going.
That intense burning desire, and I always, no matter what I've done, that is always stuck in my head, and I'll never forget that yellow little you ripped it off of it. It was like a sheet, and all motivational flashcards, and that was the one that stuck out, and I always remembered that. And,
How old did you say you were when that was?
then I was 15. So yeah, it was, and my mom, she was a Marine. So if I'd made a mistake or I got in trouble or something, I knew, I caught hell, but I knew not to do it again.
Yes.
And it just, my father died when I was 12, so my mom raised me, and I'm definitely a mama's boy.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, when your mom's a Marine, that's a different kind of mom.
yeah. But I never forgot that, and it's hard to explain to people when you want to do something and you feel like you can do it. A lot of times you might not have other people that believe in you, and it is nice that people do, but ultimately you got to believe in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
that you can do this, and you're gonna do your best, and you just gotta just power through it. And I'm glad, I think God has a plan for everybody, and it's God's time, God's plan, and He's put me in positions that I've been totally scared shitless out of my mind, and you feel this calming, like it's almost like somebody hugging you, and telling you it's going to be fine. You're going to be just fine, and I'm sure you'll have that too if you haven't already.
Oh, amen. I get it all the time.
And my wife is she might not agree with things, and she's the first one to call me out on my BS, but she's always there, and it's like, hey, I'm going to do this. Like, okay. And, I know she has my back.
Oh man, talk more. I'm picking up what you're putting down 100%.
But I don't know if I could run for state house. That's
you
that's
could.
a big one.
Look, I mean, I can. I mean, I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I sure hope it's the right one.
When is the election?
November 3rd. Fast.
Wow.
Be here quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got work to do. But it's funny, Jim. It's like you said that came to you at 15 years old, and more now. It's probably because I'm just feel like I'm covered up with life.
Yeah.
But I am reminded and comforted and motivated by so many of the things that came to me as an adolescent.
Yeah.
My coaches, I mean, I could list off Sam Story. Yeah, I was a kicker at Williams. So I went to football practice for 30 minutes and then left to go to soccer.
I went to Williams for 2 weeks.
But but he's still, of course I keep up with him, and his wife, Carol, was my 7th grade social studies teacher. Social studies is, people need to understand that is important to the curriculum is math and reading and all the rest. It's civics and understanding how to live in a society.
I remember.
But those people, like I think about them constantly. Bob Lewis, my scoutmaster, who I still talk to weekly, and he's in real estate and we work together. And God, like,
did you do stuff with Clay Hemrick?
I live in Clay Hemrick's old house.
Do you really?
I do.
I love Clay.
Yep. So I have his presence every day, and he's a community. I didn't know him. I didn't have a personal relationship with him.
Yeah.
But I know who he is and the person he was in the community.
How I met him?
How?
I just came home from Germany, and I started selling cars for Buchanan Chevrolet.
Yeah.
And I did really well. And Mr. Buchanan gave me a loaner car, which he put his arm around me and said, which one of these cars you think needs to be driven? I said, that Camaro right there. I had a date, and I got popped for speeding, doing like 65 and 45 or something. And it was highway patrolman. It was a Friday night, and the next morning we had to go to work. And we always had a sales meeting on Saturdays. And Mr. Buchanan came over there, and he put his hand on my shoulder. He said, of all the patrolmen you had to get a ticket from, it's the one that I don't like.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, how did he know that
Oh,
quick?
man.
So when I went to court, and Clay Hemrick had came down to the dealership, and he was looking for a specific Suburban, and he drove that Suburban forever. It was the brown, it was kind of a beige and brown full size Suburban.
Yeah.
And it had to have specific gearing, rear end gearing. And he said I was the only salesman that actually went and looked to make sure that the one we picked out had the gearing for him. So when I went to court, I'm sitting in the crowd waiting for him to call my name, and he comes over. He said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I got a speeding ticket."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hold on a minute."
Yeah.
I see him go over there, and he looks through the things and takes the little paper out.
Yeah.
Goes over to the DA, and the DA nods, and Clay goes over, and Clay said, "I got you." So I got to leave.
That's
And I did stereo. I had ear candy for like 35 years, and I did stuff for Clay. I always put satellite radios and stuff in that same Suburban. I'm like, Clay, is this a Suburban I sold you? He said, yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, I love that. See, that's the thing. Like, that's the stuff that I love about being here. I mean, that's why I stayed here. That's why I didn't blast off to somewhere else.
Yeah.
When I, got out of school, and
Hell,
it's
even
that
when I was
stuff.
in Germany, I come home. I get leave. I would come home, and I'm kicking myself because I should have traveled a little bit, but I would come home, and I just I wanted to come home, and that was it. And North Carolina is it's great. I mean, it's such a beautiful state, and a lot to offer.
Well, I am an optimist. I haven't been in. I've followed things very closely. I always want to know better how things work and how to do things better. But you're right. North Carolina is in a wonderful position. Alamance County is in a wonderful position. I continue to believe that we're nowhere near our capability and our potential.
I agree.
Like we have so many things falling into the right places that if we just have the right people stewarding it and shepherding it and being thoughtful and trying to stay above the noise, which is so hard to do. That's another challenge I'm finding, is just how do I discern what's legitimate noise and what's not worthwhile noise, and where I need to be on the balancing act. But gosh, we've got, like, the education conversation is just a Pandora's box. So but here in Alamance County, like, Alamance Community College is the best community college in the state. And let me just, to anyone who will listen, Ken Engel is the best person for the job, and we need to support him. We have got a fantastic school system. I believe in ABSS. We can debate about how much money they're going to get or this or that. I don't care. That's beside the point. Aaron Fleming, just like Ken Engel, that guy is here to talk to anybody that wants to talk. Like, he's an open book, and he is as good as they
come. That place
come.
has grown so much.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
He's as good as they come, and he's got a great central office team. Like, come what may, when the budget craziness happens, the commissioners can work with him, and he can work. I believe that, and that'll, like I said, chips will fall where they fall. But he's a good guy. Like, we've got good people in place to really pop with our young people and our educators. Our private school environment is as good as I've known it to be in my whole life here.
Yeah.
I mean, my two boys were my youngest is still at Burlington Christian in their pre-K program. He's been going to school already for 2 years. I didn't have that when I was in preschool.
Yeah, that's when my oldest went
Yeah.
Elements Christian.
7-year-olds in the Spanish immersion program at Smith, where I went, same building. And our economic climate is just like, we've got all the ingredients. And
Did you go to Smith?
I did.
Did you go when it was where Kmart was?
Yes.
Then they moved. Yeah,
Yes.
you might know my nephews, Zane and Zach Cooper.
Zane and Zach Cooper.
They'd be, well, you might have been a little bit ahead of them. I can't remember how old they are. They're in their 30s. Anyway.
Well, so the thing about Smith, what's so special to me about that is that, yes, my kindergarten and half of my first grade year were at the old Smith on Huffman Mill, and Ronnie Wall was our principal.
Did you know Miss Huff and Puff?
Uh-huh. Yeah, Miss Huffstetler. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her nephew and my brother were good buddies for a long time. But and she was my brother's kindergarten teacher, and but yeah, Ronnie Wall was my principal at Smith for so many years, and then he went to Turrentine, and then he went to central office, and now he's at Burlington School, and he's mayor and city council, and like, he's one of those people that has been a constant presence, not like we're best buds, but like, he's seen me and I've seen him, and he's one of those guys that was like warm and likable, but serious and meant business, and like, you knew what was up as a kindergartner. Like, we're at school here, and I love you, and we're gonna do this right. Go Duke, was his like. But and here he is, he and I, and now I'm calling him up on council matters on behalf of clients and having conversations, and he's the same guy. He means business, but he's a good person. There's so many people like that. Like, he's just one, and that's what sort of fuels my little fire for it. All those kind of people who've been doing this work. So other people need to start doing this work,
I got some
we can. You can get me on a roll, but yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. Let's see if I can find them here. These are the hard hitters that everybody wants to know about.
Oh, let's go.
What's one book or movie or a song that shaped how you see the world?
Oh man, that's hard. I don't want to mess this up. I'll leave one out. Book, movie, or song. So many. I mean, not that I've got a big stack of books that I haven't read that I can't wait to read, but book. I've just finished Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I'm on the whole stoicism kick that seems to be reemerging, I think, thankfully. But that's been very helpful when you're covered up with life. So that and I've been reading the Bible more. I've never been a particularly disciplined Christian, but again, when you take on a lot and life's covering you up, you need those things. I'll answer
that's a good go-to.
I'll give you those two. Sorry, that's not one, but you said book, movie, or song. I want to give you one of all, but we'll start with those. What's a movie? Oh man, I'll have to come back to you, because whichever one I come up with, it'll be a good reason, but I'll keep thinking about it.
All right. If you could invent a holiday for North Carolina, what would it celebrate, and how would we celebrate it? And don't say sesquicentennial.
Yeah. Okay, no, I won't do that. If I could invent a holiday for North Carolina, something to do with the outdoors or the Wright brothers? Sorry, I'm not giving you direct answers. I just have too many
All right.
thoughts in my mind. But I think we need to celebrate our landscape, our mountains and coastal landscape, and people need more nature
Have you
these
seen Ken
days.
Burns' documentary when he finally gets to the Smoky Mountains?
No, I've
Oh,
seen all the Ken, but
I
I
can't
haven't
believe
seen
we
that
didn't get
one.
that.
Dang it.
He did is it called the National Parks?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
one
yeah, yeah,
little,
yeah, yeah.
I don't think he spent enough time on Smoky Mountains. It's like we were an afterthought or
I
something. It's
love
like
a national
they're
park,
doing
man.
all the stuff over in California and everywhere. And then oh, wait, there's this over here. And then we got maybe 15, 20 minutes out of
Yeah.
like a 6 hour documentary.
No,
I might be wrong. So,
we need to celebrate that and be careful with it. I mean, with all the growth we're experiencing, we need to make sure we. I mean, I'm not a, I wouldn't call myself a environmentalist, but I like to make sure we've got those places protected. I love a national park like no other. There's nothing better. So, maybe a holiday around our natural assets, or yeah, something around the Wright brothers. Just because we are such an industrious place. Like we win
yeah.
innovation. Like we've got the military. Like that military stuff people don't talk about North Carolina being the center of the military industrial world. Are you kidding me? That is a point. That should be a point of pride that we should be like shouting from the mountaintops. And science and industry, like we've got a bunch of that. So we should celebrate the Wright brothers and their risks and successes.
Yeah. NC State does a lot of stuff that didn't they the LED stuff, didn't that all that come from NC State, their engineering, and they developed the modern LED lighting and
Oh,
stuff, I
Cree.
think.
Is it Cree that's now
Yeah.
Wolfspeed? Which I
Yeah.
know Wolfspeed's had fighting its fight, but man, yeah, I
And
think you're right.
here's if you could have dinner with any historical figure outside of politics, who would it be and why?
Dang, outside of politics. Politicians didn't used to be the way they are now. They were like just not like they are now. I won't. I would love to have a meal with Benjamin Franklin or George Washington. So here's why. Well, I'd like to be able to have a meal with Benjamin Franklin, but that guy was so smart. I'm not sure that I'm not sure how much he would get from dining with me, and I'm not sure that I'd pick up what he was talking about. I think George Washington, though, was from what I've come to understand, a pretty humble, stoic guy that would call it like he saw it. Um,
And he could have been president for probably
mm-hmm,
20 years if he had wanted,
mm-hmm.
but he chose to
Step away.
step
Yeah.
away.
Yep. Yeah. He didn't need it.
Yeah.
He didn't need it.
Yeah.
A book I'm back to that song and movie because I love arts that like move, that make you stir, But I won't take up too
You know what
much
my
of y'all's
song would
time.
be?
Yeah, y'all tell me, y'all answer these
The
questions for
Coca-Cola.
me.
I'd like to teach the world to
Is that
sing.
right?
Yes. You remember
On the
that one?
mountaintop?
Yeah.
What are y'all's
It's-
answers to the first question? Book, song, or movie?
Oh, the Winston Churchill series is for me.
Yeah. Probably Gladiator.
Movie.
Yeah. song. I think that Coca-Cola song, because it's just, even though it's a Coca-Cola song, I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. So I just that's the song that comes to my head.
We Are the World's one that comes in my head.
Okay.
Because the idea behind it is 100%.
So you like Bruce Springsteen, don't you, when he does his part?
Kenny Rogers.
Oh, nice.
I mean, that was an amazing
Yep.
group of entertainers.
The the non-political figure, even though he was political, Winston Churchill, because he did so much stuff before he became prime minister, it would have to be him, because he did more. He did stuff that was not political, that affected everything. Just in his
Yes.
biography.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and he saw so much and experienced so much. He had highs and lows. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
yeah, he
That's
saw
a good-
young Hitler.
Yeah.
Warned everybody, we need to keep an eye on this guy.
Yeah.
There's a when he was in the Boer War, and there's what's cool, and I don't know if I don't remember when I was in the service that people took notes and wrote everything. Like, there was always somebody there writing about what was going on, and all the stuff that the British, there was always somebody there who, if you heard about something that Winston Churchill did, there's always someone else's writings at that time that back it up, so they know that it actually happened. And like, he would be sitting at a desk talking to people, and then he would get up, and like a couple seconds later a mortar would come down right where he was just at. And when he was in the Boer War, he would get on horseback and ride, and leading the charge, and like they're saying all these people are getting shot around him and everything, and the bullets are whizzing by, and his mother heard about what was going on, and he didn't have to be there, and his mother sent him a letter saying, please, come home, you do not need to die that way. And he wrote back to her and said that God has a bigger plan for him than for him to be killed in some silly war. And it's just crazy, the stuff that went on. And then when he was captured, he escaped.
Yeah.
And he actually left an apology note to the guards.
That's great. That's
that
awesome.
he knows they're going to get in trouble because he escaped. But
he's a good. Yeah, I know he's a good
that was definitely somebody, and I think the entire world owes a great debt to him. But
100%.
man, I'm so glad you came on. This has
Me
been
too.
really cool.
This is
awesome.
This is a good conversation. I love doing this. Forget an elevator pitch. I'll take this.
I'll make sure when we get it, we'll edit it, and I'll get it out, and make sure you have a copy of it, and you can use it if you want to.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And but this has been great. So we're hitting almost an hour. The cigar's been good too. Did you finish yours already?
I did.
What's
falling apart.
What's my movie? Let me throw a movie and a song out
Okay.
real quick. So I think right now the movie I'm landing on is A River Runs Through It. Have y'all seen that?
Oh, yes. That's a real good one.
That's
That's the brothers, isn't it?
Yeah. That one grounds me a lot every time I pull that one up or pick up the short story. Man, it stirred all the Presbyterian. The Presbyterian father, and cleaning yourself up because we're all a mess, and getting out and going fishing.
That's a good movie.
And the Grateful Dead song, Jerry Garcia, or I think it's Garcia and Hunter's "Ripple," is one that I love the Grateful Dead. I'm sad that Bobby Weir is no longer with us, but that was never one of my favorites until probably he passed away, and I started listening to it again, and that song is about passing it on.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you got isn't really yours, and you know, sharing your talents
Oh, cool.
and things.
Well, that's
so
great.
Yeah.
that was, it's good reminders in those little cultural artifacts, I guess. So
Yeah, last time Hollywood and I were talking last week when we were, or the week prior when we were talking about it, it's like our generation, I don't think we'll ever have any music that was as powerful and important from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I think, the kids that are growing up today they'll never experience music like that.
That's for sure.
it's important.
It came from a time and
Well, the whole world was changing, and the
Yeah.
music was about the world changing.
crazy.
I mean, the music totally directly reflected what was going on in the world.
Well, and those people too, like you didn't like. I don't agree with their lifestyles or their beliefs, but man, they believe what they're singing. Like they are telling their truth. Like that's honest.
Yeah.
That's honest expression. You
Yeah.
can't argue with that.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And we should all be honest in the way we express ourselves and do it in a positive way.
I wish I could play guitar.
Me too.
Well, thanks for being on the show.
No, thank y'all for
Thanks,
having me.
Ryan.
We
I'm
could
Hollywood Herd.
go on.
I'm Jim Young.
And this has been the Smoked
Smoked
Debrief,
Debrief.
and our guest was
Ryan Moffitt.